the largest component of the transportation sector, remains the hardest hit mode, struggling to cover costs, especially their skyrocketing fuel costs. The cost for trucking was up 9.3% in 2010, with the intercity truck segment up about 9.5%, and the local delivery segment up about 8.8%. Much of the increase in revenue is actually from fuel surcharges, although most truckers have been unable to fully recover their actual added fuel costs. I think the estimate right now is somewhere in the neighborhood of 70%. Volumes grew slowly and fitfully, with truck tonnage rising 5.7% in 2010, not even close to reversing the losses of the last 6 years. Although a major portion of that was fuel surcharges, and profits were reported by many carriers during the first quarter of 2011. Capacity issues are becoming more widespread in the trucking and air sectors. Attrition is still eliminating industry capacity, but at a much slower rate than we saw in 2009 and 2010. ACT Research recently projected a shortfall of 75,000 trucks by the first quarter of 2012, climbing to 180,000 units by the end of 2012. Truck sales and new orders are making headlines, but the reported level of sales, as I said, really doesn't meet replacement levels. Truck manufacturers are producing about 300,000 units per year. They too are struggling with capacity issues because their sources for assembly parts have been unwilling to carry big inventories or manufacture parts ahead of orders, and often they find the same behavior. But so far the numbers don't support the anecdotal evidence that I've collected. Freight spend is generally higher today than a year ago, but higher shipment volumes and higher fuel surcharges account for much of that increase. We went into the recession with a driver shortage and capacity constraints, and I think in the end we're going to come out with an exacerbated driver shortage and more severe capacity crunch. Until that tight capacity builds and is more universal, shippers will continue to get away with holding tight to their current rates or searching for more favorable rates in the spot market. Capacity available on load boards has spiked in recent weeks, indicating that more carriers are chasing loads again. Between much reduced industry truck capacity and a soon-to-be critical driver shortage, this would be the time to be building or mending relationships with your trucking firms. It's going to be all about relationships and carriers having the luxury of choosing who they do business with.